Welcome everybody. Here we are for episode 4. We're talking all about the Spider-Man trailer that just dropped this week. Alongside me, as always, the queen bee herself, the one and only nerdy girl, Danielle. How are you doing on this bright and early Saturday morning?
Good. How you doing?
Man, we are right in the middle of Ottawa Comic Con. I am bushed. Friday was set up. We had the show going. We're filming. I'm back at the con this afternoon, and it's going to be great. Can't wait to see everyone there. Danielle, it's a shame that you guys couldn't make it down here, but we got snow on the ground.
One of these days I'll make it to the Great White North.
Yeah.
Not in winter.
Not in winter, and I don't blame you. I'm trying to get out of here in winter. So, Danielle, it was a real quiet week this week for everything geek-related, and by that, I mean the exact opposite. We had the Spider-Man trailer drop, and it broke the internet. I haven't checked the actual views to see if it's, beaten any of the other trailers. But what do you think, Danielle? What's going on here?
I cannot wait to see this movie. I can't even put into words how I don't even know which character I'm most excited for them to bring to the screen. The fact we're going to have all the Spideys, the Electro, Green Goblin, I can't even.
Yeah, so here's interesting. I know a lot of people have talked about this, covered it. It's a month out, and we just got a full trailer. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's weird how they kind of structure it these days. First, you get a teaser trailer, which is a trailer by any other definition, a teaser trailer. Then we get the full trailer a month before, which generally it's happening 3 months before.
I know. Usually they're getting so hyped way before this. I think it's because they know how hungry people are for these. And they're like, nope, we're going to make them wait.
Marketing geniuses over at Disney. So the big thing is we did not see Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire. I think it's a foregone conclusion, but do you think they're going to appear in the movie?
Yeah.
Well, of course. Now, on that point, I think this has been running rampant over the internet with the trailer comes out. You get all these kind of fan theories as to what's going on, and there's merit to them. You know what I mean? I think the other day I was sitting at my desk and I was going down these rabbit holes, checking things out. So apparently, in the Brazilian trailer, Danielle, I think I know where I'm going with this. They're flying through the air, the lizard's coming out, and then all of a sudden, boom, does it a roundabout like he gets punched, and everyone's saying, you know what? Sony, Marvel, they are legendary for omitting characters, for photoshopping them out. Do you think that was actually another Spider-Man flying through the air, laying the business on the lizard? Lizard goes around.
Ooh, that's a good guess. No, I'm gonna have to look that one up.
The queen of Instagram has not seen it. What's going on here, Danielle? Yeah, so that's what happened.
Sorry, I wasn't looking up Brazilian Spider-Man trailer. What was I thinking?
What are you thinking?
I don't know.
That just shows that I have way too much time on my hands. You know what? It's ever since that Ultimate Fallout 4 La Mole convention variant came out, I'm looking down in South America.
Every rabbit hole there is.
No stone unturned.
No stone unturned.
So that was one of the ones what they're saying. You know what? It looks like there's another Spider-Man flying through the air. There was also some set photos released, or not set photos, but photos of Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire canoodling around the time the filming was happening. So that's one kind of thread there. So Danielle, what are you hoping personally? What are you personally hoping that we're going to see in the movie? What are the big things? There's a couple different threads. There's rumors that Tom Holland's going to get a symbiote. There's rumors we're going to see Miles Morales. We got Charlie Cox potentially coming in as Daredevil. Take it away. What do you think?
I don't know that I have any crazy expectations. I feel like it's so long overdue for Marvel to just drop this epic, mind-blowing, because we've seen a lot of Marvel shows and there have been some movies come out, but we haven't had anything like Endgame since Endgame. And Marvel is due for a crazy bomb just getting dropped on comic fans. And I think this movie is going to do it.
I think so. So I think you and me were talking about this the other day. So we got Endgame. Endgame set a pretty high bar for
huge
the pinnacle of comic book movies, right?
Yeah.
If we were not in COVID times right now, do you think, and where would this rank relative to Endgame as far as epicness? Do you think this is on page with on par with Endgame?
It's really hard to say. Judging from the trailer that just came out and how loaded with characters and villains, because I feel like this is the most villains that we've seen in a movie. I'm really excited for Strange too, honestly. Like, I think that he's such an undervalued character. So I feel like it's really hard to say. I think, yeah, no matter what, this movie is just going to be epic. And I think it's going to blow everyone's minds. I
I
don't
think
know
so
that it'll
too.
reach Endgame because that's up there in my favorite movies of all time.
Oh yeah. Well, there's no question. You know what's interesting about Strange, Danielle, is like when Doctor Strange is on the scene, like his shit's going down. Like there's something
Yeah.
serious. Like he's not wasting his time
Like,
with
all
someone
right,
that
that's it. Let's go.
it's just like when Nick Fury would show up in the comics. There's some
Yeah.
craziness going on. So you know what? I'll tell you what. There's all sorts of villains going on, and to be completely honest with you, I have never liked like Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin outfit in the movies. Like I love the Green Goblin in the comics. Like Spider-Man's art
Yeah.
tone. Norman Osborn's such a cool character, but in the
Brilliant.
movies, it's almost like an Iron Man-esque kind of Green Goblin outfit. And it'll be interesting to see. Like, I know there's been some kind of adjustments to the Green Goblin image they're releasing right now to see if that kind of transforms with the multiverse, or if there's another iteration of it. So I'm going to run down a couple characters here. Do you think we are going to see Charlie Cox Daredevil come in?
As a lawyer, yeah.
Big. That's big. You know what, Danielle? Daredevil number
I don't
one.
know how I feel about Daredevil, but just gonna make that book go.
Oh, it's yeah.
As if it needs any help. It's already crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so Daredevil, Vincent D'Onofrio, Kingpin. Do you think we see Kingpin make an appearance?
I would love a Kingpin appearance because
Oh.
he is. I just love like badass villains who are just crazy on just being like baddies, right? Like they're just these tough, super like powerful guys. They're my favorite kind of villains. So I would love a Kingpin appearance.
I think so too. Miles Morales. I think he's in there as Miles Morales.
He probably is going to get squeezed in, but there's going to be so much Spider-Man goodness going on in this movie.
Oh yeah, and then I think this is a foregone conclusion, but I haven't really heard a lot of chatter about it online in the past week. But Venom is in the Marvel Cinematic Universe now, and he's gonna pop up and he's gonna be bouncing around causing shit.
That would be madness if they also brought Venom in.
Hold
on to your Spidey 300 just in case.
You're throwing salt in the wound. Mine's gone. Okay, so here's a big question on that. Do any of the Spider-Men die? Do you think any of them? Who do you think is going to die? Do you think Tom Holland? I don't think Tom Holland, but I think maybe like
I just saw that Tom Holland signed a deal, so I don't think it's going to be Tom, but I do think we will see a Spider-Man die.
I think so. I think it's a foregone conclusion with like the whole.
You need a sad death. Like it wouldn't be a Marvel movie without like a completely gut-wrenching major character death.
Scream crying in the theaters and whatnot. Yeah, I think
it'll be a Tony Stark scenario all over again.
Oh boy, yeah, just like you know what I mean. They make
all
these
when that happened in the theater.
I don't think we can avoid that. So yeah, it's interesting because earlier this week, everyone knows this is like the last film on Tom Holland's contract, and I think Marvel is going. I think they're going one step further because in a recent interview with GQ, Tom Holland actually was quoted as saying, like, maybe it's time for me to move on. Maybe what's best for Spider-Man is they do a Miles film, and like, a lot of foreshadowing there, putting that on a lot of radars and whatnot.
Well, I think he was telling Marvel, like, sign me or let me go, and putting them on notice.
Well, for sure, because this Marvel money, like where Tom Holland came from when he was cast as Spider-Man, to where he is now, like he's at the top. Top of everyone's A-list. It's just like when Robert Downey Jr. was cast. Like who better to cast as Iron Man than Robert Downey Jr. Realistically, but that catapulted him right back to the one of the best leading men in Hollywood, and he's a great actor too.
Brilliant.
So Danielle, after everything you saw, what's your takeaway from the trailer? Like, what would you leave the trailer thinking? You know what I mean? Amazing job by not revealing too much with the other Spider-Man, or do you think they could have given us a little bit more right now?
I don't think they should have given us any more right now. They needed to give us just a taste. Like
Yeah.
enough to get everyone super hyped and talking about it and just sneak like all of the craziness that's coming with this movie. Like people are already running out, grabbing any freaking Spider-Man key that they can find. Like
Oh,
it's already creating mass hysteria, in my opinion.
okay. So, guys, interesting segue to our tracking numbers portion of the show, which we have a bit of time on right now because there's a lot of implications. So I think it's fair to say that with Iron Man's demise in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that Spider-Man is now kind of like their Marvel's flagship. You know what I mean? He's their
Oh, for
main guy. And with that, there's a lot of implications. There's a lot of books that have been moving around in the market. And guys, you know, me and Danielle are big fans of the auction houses. There's some craziness going on this week over at Heritage and at some of the other big guys. So Danielle, why don't you take it away? You and me were just talking prior to filming here about some of these numbers. Over at Heritage this week, guys, we had an AF-15, Amazing Fantasy 15, 7.0 cream to off-white finish. Danielle, what did that guy finish at?
204? Like insanity. $204,000 for a 7.0 Amazing Fantasy 15.
Cream to off-white.
Off-white. It wasn't even off-white pages or better.
Which
Like,
I think,
I'm still, but there was no Marvel chipping on it.
yeah, which is tough. I think it was like off-white white. I was saying I think we would have seen 250, 260.
And that would have been even more mind-blowing. I think 204, even if that were an off-white copy, would have still been a holy hell, I can't believe that just sold for that much.
But you know what? On the other hand, congratulations to buyer. I think that's a good buy. 7.0 is looking really nice. You know what I mean? When you get to those kind of grades and whatnot. I personally always wanted a 7.0. Well, who wouldn't want something with $200,000? It's like someone saying, oh yeah, believe it or not, I want to get a Ferrari. You know?
I feel like an old school dealer. I feel like I've moved into that generation of like, I can't wrap my head around these prices. Remember when a year ago, a 15 7.0 was like 60K?
Danielle, I'll tell you, and I've shared my theory with this and a couple different people. I had a guy at my booth yesterday at the Auto Comic Con, and he was asking me if I accepted cryptocurrency as payment.
Yeah.
And like an old fogey, I was like waving my cane at him. I'm like, you kids and your cryptocurrency. But this guy was telling me he was a young guy in his 20s. You know what I mean? I'm mid 30s.
They're making a ton of money in crypto right now.
And they don't, if they want something, they don't care. They'll buy it. Because money it's a different construct. Like some of these crypto guys, they're hundreds of thousands of dollars, like you know, in an afternoon.
Wallets, yeah.
It's wild, and it's like, but it's exciting times. You know what I mean? And welcome to the future, guys. Welcome to the future. Hoverboards and DeLoreans with time capacitors right around the corner. Okay, so we had another big sale over at one of my favorite books. I'm a diehard Fantastic Four guy, but I got a soft spot for Amazing Spider-Man 1. Big finish, Danielle. Tell us about that one.
The 9.2 ended at, I think, 168 or 163. One of those numbers, I can't remember. But just madness, truly madness. I mean, now, if you asked me which one I would recommend buying, the 7.0 AF-15 or the 9.2 Spider-Man, I would go 9.2 Spider-Man because it's a 9.2. I know that the AF-15 is like the origin, but it's a 9.2. So I would put my money of the two into the Spider-Man one.
The Batman #1 of the Silver Age, as it has been called as of late, which I like. This is such a cool book. You know, his first issue in series, and it's very good. So coming out of the stratosphere down to something a little more attainable. I say a little more attainable. We had an ASM1 6.5 finish up and a 6.0 finish up. What did those guys end up at?
And those finished like super, super close to each other.
Yeah.
We had the 6.5 finish at 31.2, which again, really strong, solid price. And the 6.0 ended at 28.8. So that was actually the closest I've seen kind of those two. And sometimes it comes down to just eye appeal on that. Where like you'll pay a little more for a 6.0 that looks a little nicer than
Yeah, but those are good finishes though, because that's kind of now
Yeah.
established like a 6.0 right in and around.
Yeah,
Like there's been a couple
baseline.
sales, you know what I mean, in and around the
Yeah.
30K mark, which you know, some books kind of get stuck in that 20 to 25, 25 to
Yeah.
30 range. But then once it starts getting
Yeah,
up to
once
the
it like
30s,
hits that new level, that's when you see that progression for sure. Yeah.
yeah, from 30, 50 is right around the corner because I think you're tapping into like a different buyer pool with like different, you know, once you're spending dropping 30K on a book, the 50 is negligible.
Like, oh, okay. Right.
Wow, you know what I mean? When you're
I
up there,
know. Yeah, I know.
it's like think
I
of it as,
sometimes I feel like we live in like a different universe than like the rest of the world.
man, especially once you start chasing a book, you know, you get emotionally attached to one, and it sometimes gets a runaway
Yeah.
train. But you also, guys, so those are pretty easy books to pick. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, what Spider-Man book is going to be hot? Okay, AF15, AF1. A bunch of other strong finishes on some other ASM keys this week. Danielle, like, what are we seeing? What else have we seen in the market this week?
Oh man. I'm going back to my list that I had pulled up because I was trying to look at recent sales this morning. I don't always write down all of them,
Yeah,
but there
but
were like some of the Spideys, like a Spidey 3, I think 7.0 finished at like 9K.
that's
Uh,
big. But you know what, guys? You know what, Danielle? You told me about this one before, and I know there's just so many of these books. 50, Amazing Spider-Man 50.
oh, this one blew my mind. Let me, Ryan,
9.6,
thank you.
66K. Amazing. One of the best Spider-Man covers in that era. You know what I mean? The
So
Silver Age.
I love that cover, and 9.6 is really tough on that book because of the red.
Yeah.
Like that red just it's like a black cover, right? It's that book is tough in super high grade, but 66 for a Spidey 50 is just insane to me. And it just shows that like those Spidey villains are getting crazy love right now. The Spidey 14, what was it? The 9.2?
The 1492 at 22,800.
22.8 for a 9.2. Spidey 14. You could buy that book for like 10K not that long ago.
Not that long
Literally.
ago. Yeah, it
I
finally
think that's always been a very undervalued key.
well, so on that note, I'm going to take that and I'm going to run with it. Undervalued Spidey keys, like not that they really exist, but there are a few undervalued Spidey keys, I think, and maybe Danielle, I want to hear what you think that you guys should look into. And this is Nefarious' list, guys. I'm going to throw it out there. Danielle, you let me know what you think about this. Undervalued Spidey key number 1, Amazing Spider-Man 37. First, Norman Osborn. You had the Green Goblin show up, but Norman Osborn is not until 37, with everything else taking off in value. You know, it's very, very possible. There's been a lot of rumors about Dark Avengers coming to the MCU with the Thunderbolts. Norman Osborn is a really cool character. He's, I'd say, the Marvel Universe Lex Luthor. Daniel, like, I know you have a lot of experience.
That's an undervalued book also. I would agree with that. Yes.
Guys, look at that one. Here's my second pick for undervalued Amazing Spider-Man keys. Amazing Spider-Man 31. A really, really cool book. First Harry Osborn, first Gwen Stacy. I was talking with a guy yesterday about this. He goes, you have all these people paying about $2,000, you know, give or take, for Edge of Spider-Verse #2 for Spider-Gwen. He goes, why are these people not buying Amazing Spider-Man 31s? It's been getting a little traction lately.
Yeah.
But Danielle, what do you think about this book? Are you with me or are you not with me on this book?
Yeah, I can see that. I don't think that it's like as big, but I do think that it's like one of those mini keys that you'll still see a bump on. Yeah.
I think it's a cool one with everything else going on. And I've been well, here's another one too. ASM 59, and this one is a smaller key, which is the first MJ cover with her dancing on the cover.
Yeah, I love that cover. I think that's just such a fun cover anyways.
It is. And then Spider-Man giving the guy the business behind the curtain, you know what I mean? And MJ is weird because she had kind of like a cameo. She was mentioned or a cameo in ASM 15. And then she has something else going on. And then her first full appearance is ASM 42 with the face of Tiger. You just hit the jackpot panel, which is like amazing panel.
Yeah.
And then that's her first cover. And that's a really good one. And guys, you know, I oh man, I love it too. I have a nice copy myself. I've been talking about this one forever. First Prowler, ASM 78.
78. Yeah, you love that book.
Well, he
That's
is
like your
left.
jam.
That's whenever I can find them at the auction houses where the price is not astronomical. I try to add a couple.
Yeah.
So what he is the Prowler is Miles Morales' Uncle Ben. If we're gonna see Miles, we have to see the Prowler again.
True.
He was cast Childish Gambino, Donald Glover, who's a very very talented individual, and I think that's perfect. He's perfect for the role, and we'll definitely see some more of him, provided we see some more Miles, which I think you
I
can
think
start.
I think it's inevitable to see more Miles, right? I
Yeah.
mean, that is eventually the future of Marvel.
Yeah. And so get on these Miles keys. There's not, because a lot of who doesn't know Ultimate Fallout 4, And then we saw another big finish for Ultimate Fallout 4 1 in 25 this week over at Heritage.
Oh yeah.
28.8. The previous was
wrong price. I
just
think the previous was 25.
no 31.
Oh,
31. And then but it's in that realm, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And so guys, we have
And I
another
thought that book was crazy at 15.
I remember when it was 2,500, man. I remember when it was 600. I remember when, kids. Danielle, what is your pick for maybe an ASM or a Spider-Man key that's under the radar right now? That's a good buy.
Well, I think 300 is on a dip right now. I think that 300 went nuts and it settled back down to like a realistic value. And I think that is still a great book to buy because I don't think we're done seeing Venom. And I think that he is such an iconic character in the Marvel universe that like I would buy a bunch of 300s personally because it's still relatively affordable.
So what grade, Danielle, what is the best grade bang for your buck on a 300 that you think people should kind of look at?
So if you can sway 9.4 and above, I think that the high grade copies always are going to give the most appreciation just because when people come in, they want high grade copies. Not everyone can swing a 9.8, but a 9.4 is still like $1,500. So that's reasonable. I think I wouldn't buy an 8.0 unless like that's your budget. And again, I'm always for buy what you can afford. Never go beyond your means to buy a book. But if it were up to me, I would go 9.4 and above.
Yeah. Well, you know what, guys, going on that with some of the theories we put forth, I think within the next month, it has to be before the movie comes out, and ideally before like the world premiere kind of happens in about 3 weeks. So you guys got about 2 weeks to track down some of these ASM 300s. You're right, Danielle. It is on a lull after the Venom hype hype train ended after the movie. I think he's going to show up. So I think that's a very good buy right now. 9496 because everyone's going to want that ASM 300. Even at the show yesterday,
and the cover is so iconic.
Oh, you can't beat the cover. Yeah. You got the big books from you got the Silver Age, you got your AF-15, Bronze Age, you got your Hulk 181, Copper Age, you got your ASM 300, and your Modern Age, you got your Ultimate Fallout 4, I'd say, for best King of the Modern Age. Pretty much they're all Spider-Man books except for your Hulk 181. So a lot of exciting things. Any takeaway thoughts from this week, Danielle? Where would we go from here in the comic universe? What's next for the comic universe?
I don't know. Only up.
Only up. So what's next for you? Because I know you have a million projects. I've been seeing you everywhere this week.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I need a vacation. I have Whatnot stream Saturday morning with Sammy from Skeleton Key Comics. We have a Saturday morning show at 9:30 every week, all silver and bronze. I'm on Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. We have like a little Sunday fun day crew we've put together. Really fun. Of Whatnot Wednesdays. I had so much fun this past Wednesday. My cheeks were hurting from laughing when I was done. Like it was just such great vibes and energy. We are going to have another guest, hopefully next weekend. And if it all plans out the way I'm hoping it will, we're going to drop some pretty big news in another market that I'm involved in. So that's all we can say.
That is so exciting. I always like having guests on. I gotta say, it was so much fun meeting Sammy, working with you and Sammy last week on this team. You guys are much fun. You guys are so good together, man. You guys break the internet. You guys are on every single social media platform I have popping up, and it's fun. It's fun.
C2E2. 3 weeks away.
Oh my goodness. Make
I will
sure,
be there.
Danielle, listen, I hope you got the 1 terabyte hard drive on the phone you just purchased because of all the pictures and videos and all that.
So much. I'm so excited.
Guys, if you're in the Ottawa area, come check me out at the Ottawa
Yes,
Comic-Con.
he's there today, tomorrow.
Today,
Go buy some
tomorrow.
books. Come bring some trades.
That's right. Come bring some books and some trades. I'll take a peek. And Danielle, as always, it's a pleasure. Check out my friend Danielle over on Whatnot. Follow her on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Guys, thanks for spending your Saturday
Subscribe,
morning.
like, comment. That's it.
All right, guys. Have a great one.